It's been a steady stream of people going into that polling booth behind me, very happy at the prospect of this vote. I've talked to the head of the Electoral Commission there, who's looked over 7 elections in her time, and she says that the turnout now is much stronger and everyone's much happier than before. I've had a glimpse at these transparent ballot boxes too, where people are casting their votes. Many people aren't bothering to fold them up, and I have not seen a ballot paper that does not have a cross at the top, i.e. saying we are for Russia. As you say, this is a military base, Perevolnaya. It's the home to Ukraine's 36th Coastal Defense Division. Now, we've been speaking to the deputy commander on the base, asking if soldiers will be coming out to vote. Those who are registered on Crimean soil are allowed to, which is about 400 of them. He said if any were, they would be coming out in civilian clothing, apparently so as not to cause any kind of provocation. At the gates of that base, you have these self-defense militias who've essentially been helping the Russian troops all around the base to stop the Ukrainians really from coming out. Here, they have not surrendered. They have not sworn allegiance to the Crimean authorities. At some other military bases here in Crimea, they have, and the bases are effectively now in the hands of the Crimean authorities. We know also, Errol, that Sergei Aksyonov, the newly appointed pro-Russian leader here in Crimea, has said that when this referendum is over, when the counts show that it is going Russia's way, and this seems to be a question more of when than if, then those troops will be an illegal armed operation on Crimean soil, although he has said there will be safe passage. And Errol, I also want to bring our audience's attention to something that we shot earlier. I think you have the video, which shows a man going up to the ballot box and dropping in not 1, but 2 ballot papers, thinking that no one was looking. Now, the elections are supposed to be free and fair. There is an election monitor in there. I spoke to some election monitors yesterday in Simferopol. They all seem to come from European fringe parties, from the Nationalist Party in Belgium to the Communist Party in Greece. And all of them had a very specific political view, which was that the government in Kiev was illegitimate. So it does raise questions on whether this vote really is free and fair, especially given the heavy military presence in Crimea right now, Errol.
Yes, Diana, we just watched that clip, and it clearly shows a man putting 2 pieces of paper in these, as you say, transparent voting boxes. You also mentioned to us this morning that pro-Russian troops are evident there at these polling locations. But what we also cannot ignore is this music that is just filling the air around you as you report on what's happening at the polling station. Presumably, well, you've described it as Soviet-era pro-Russian music. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it's an extraordinary mix, actually, Errol. We've had some blazing dance tunes coming out as well, presumably to welcome all those pensioners who remember Soviet times, as they've been pretty, you know, there have been a lot of them coming in. Anyway, blaring dance tunes and some Soviet songs, a bit of a mix, but mostly Russian music, Russian folk as well. And it does feel very surreal. I've got to tell you, an hour ago it was snowing here. We had this blaring music. Over there, I can see Russian soldiers milling around, although President Putin doesn't say they're Russian and they're not wearing insignia. They have number plates which say Rus on it. And last time we were here, we spoke to them and they said they were from Russia. And it really is a very, very strange scene. And just round the corner, I went to get a coffee in a shop that belongs to an ethnic Crimean Tatar lady. She said it's going to be much worse if this becomes a part of Russia. I fear that it will. And she, like many Crimean Tatars here, will be boycotting this vote. Errol?